Right, so I've just mixed up a very light brown, the same brown we had before, just with a bit of white, and here and there I'm going to come along the edge of this where I think it's going to be hit by light coming through, just here and there. I don't want too much actually, I had a bit too much on my brush then, don't need tons of it, and then just here and there it's going to come down that edge. Oop, went a bit too far. You can use a bit of saliva to rub it out sometimes if you go a bit too far, like I did there. I'll just rest my hand on there now. There. I'll add a bit more water to that, so it's a bit runnier. Add a little bit of water to the paint and it'll just make it work a bit better for you. I'm just going to touch it in certain areas and then blend back into it again with the dark. So maybe it's going to miss a bit there and hit in there, just a tiny bit. Some areas it will hit more and just a bit in other areas. There's this sunlight just beaming through, as you can see down here. Maybe a little bit's crept through into there. There too. Just on the edge of that. A little tiny bit up in here. Maybe it's hit a bit stronger in that spot as well, so I'll just pull it out. Now on this one it must be just, it's highlighted to there, but with the light coming from that certain angle, it'll start to highlight up here too. A little bit just on that other side. And they do make a difference, these little highlights. I really believe that they make a huge difference to your finished painting. Very bright. A bit too bright, but doesn't matter. Can always darken it off a tiny bit. These are all little fun finishing touches that you can do. That light creeping its way around there. It will definitely dull off a little bit anyway. Just in here. Blending behind it a bit. Maybe a bit of light crept through there. Just there. Try and make it as much like the bark on the tree as you can. Leave gaps in between where you highlight to. Still a bit wet in there. Like I said, these highlights do really make or break your painting. It's easy to get excited and overdo it. Try not to do that. Bit of sunlight just coming down onto there. And also you can use your brush on the side like that. See that? Just to make it look like there's some little bits of light hitting in there too, here and there. You know, creating little. Do it with the fan brush though, I think. Right. So I've got a couple of little bright spots. I might just brighten this a little bit up here, a bit more. Just in there. There's that little bulge. And then a little bit there again. Just keep brightening it up, just to make it do what you want it to do. Happy? Right, so I'm just going to use the fan brush now. And with the fan brush, I'm just going to go into that same light colour. That are mixed. So chiseled edge. I'm just going to brighten up certain little areas of this. A bit brighter up there, you see. A few little brighter ones they will. So by tapping that in, then I can go back to the dark again. Just on this side of it, I can tap some of that in and just leave that on the very edge. The brighter spots, just on that very edge. Go back in and put some in the middle as well in a minute. It's a matter of just going backwards and forwards between the two. See, that makes a bit of a nice difference, does that? A little bit of that lighter colour again. Just in here, I can put a few little ribs in for the bark, just tiny little highlights, not very bright. And while I've got this dark on here, I'm going to blend into some of them, just a little bit. Just soften them off a little bit. Also puts a few more little details and indications in there for you. Same in this part of the trunk. I'm going to come back in and see that? Just here and there. In the centre part, but you're not putting a lot of paint on. There's not a lot of paint coming off here. You use your finger to go back over it and make it even more subtle, so it only just stands out on that dark shadow side I'm talking about. Right, I'm happy. Now, I just want to do some of these little rocks that we've got down here. Put little highlights on them. Just the odd one of them where the sun's going to hit it. And then as you start to run out of colour, I can go to the ones in the shadows. Just put a little bit of something on them too. Just them little rocks that I painted in before. Now, just going to use a liner brush. On this one here. I want it to be quite lit up on top. Then have a dark shadow underneath. So by putting it on with the liner brush, it can be quite accurate. I can bring it down underneath and leave a nice dark shadow there. Sometimes it works a little bit better. Just add a little bit of water. I want to come down a bit more of that to about there. Very small details, but it's nice little things to do. Get light on top, dark underneath. Something about like so. Got a couple to do just in here as well. There's one just there. Oop. Rest of my hand on a dodgy area. That's good though. I'm going to finish off after doing these just by putting a few more little bits of dappled light on the pathway, and that's it. Right. Notice I keep going back into these areas and softening them and blending and making them look more natural. Right, fan brush, that colour for the dappled light. And just here and there, like where this is coming through here. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Just in there. And if you have the bristles open, when you come in and put your dappled light in, see that? It gives you sporadic bits of it coming out here and there. But you still want these pools of light up in here. There's a few that are coming across, and a few individual ones like that. Just here and there where it's sneaking through. Then I'll go and put a little bit of light brown on there. Now where I put that there, pool of light. A little bit of something just there. While you got this white on your brush, it's always good to come back up into this area here, and then just here and there, just touch the corner, a little bit of light. It's just zinging off them leaves, but sparingly. Don't do it too much, and also it'll show a bit of light zinging right through the trees because it's never totally blocked out, never. And like I said, just do it sparingly. A bit too much on that. It's better. Especially out here, you're going to get a few little ones. Just using corner. You could use a liner brush for this if you want to be really accurate, but I'm not too fussed. I like different sizes of them. I think it looks a bit more natural when you get some smaller, some a bit bigger like that where sunlight's really showing through. And that's it, that's good. Right guys, I think for this painting, I'm going to call it done. But what I've got a really nice frame for it. So what I'll do is I'll I'll get the border and the frame and everything, and I'll come back to you and show you that. Just a few little brown highlights over that, and over these little pools of light everywhere, even in there. It's not going to be just white, it's never going to be straight white. It's going to have a bit of that brown tone in there too, from the leaves being lit up. Same up in there. Good, I'm happy.